we all know that some movies should honestly never be made. But Hollywood knows better than us, obviously.
Benign Snow White. Recent years seem to have indicated that even the most passionate Disney fans are growing a little tired of the live-action remakes that they're doing of all their old properties. Yet
A little tired? Just a little tired? Or completely done?
adaptation of Snow White, one of the most beloved Disney princesses of all time, should be a slam dunk, right? Except being a product that exists in our, let's say, complicated present, Snow White actually represents a damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of situation for the House of Mouse. Principal photography wrapped seemingly without any issue in July 2022, yet even before a single frame had been shot, the project courted controversy and has been facing a bit of an uphill PR battle ever since. Predictably, there were those
A little bit. Rachel Zegler completely, single-handedly destroyed any chances that this thing is gonna even sell a single ticket. Okay? This is gonna be Disney's biggest disaster, and every single person knows. Their best PR stunt was trying to pretend that Rachel Zegler is actually a decent human being, not an absolute mouth breather, by doing that interview, which every single person that even heard about it called it instantaneously fake because it was two absolutely unlikable people. Well, the one that did the Little Mermaid honestly is way better than Rachel Zegler because, you know, she was in the movie. She did not proclaim that we're gonna remove men from existence and, you know, that her movie is garbage, that, you know, should be modernized for modern audiences, obviously. But in any case, anyone who saw it knew that it was just, you know, 30 minutes of two women absolutely just fellatioing each other of how they are the bestest ever and trying to seem like, you know, human beings instead of what they really are. Monsters. Absolute just heartless monsters.
who were unhappy that the Park Columbian Rachel Zegler had been cast as the titular Snow White, of course. A character described as having skin white as snow, while Zegler's outspoken comments about the original animation also caused the usual suspects to start calling the film too woke. And then there's the whole
The usual suspects? I'm sorry, are we... I'm sorry, are we gonna not pretend that Disney is absolutely not the wokest thing ever? Are we just gonna pretend that's not true? The usual suspects? Who? People with common sense? Who? People with common decency? What do you mean, usual suspects?
dwarf situation. After Peter Dinklage criticised the original story, Disney responded that they were taking a different approach with the characters. And when leaked set photos...
They got so inclusive that they excluded actual dwarfs because, you know, dwarf inclusivity kind of doesn't matter, obviously. This is the thing with inclusivity. It's just literally the ultimate, penultimate, the grand finale competition of victimhood. That's what inclusivity actually is at the end of the day. It's just the ultimate victimhood marathon that never ends.
Those showed predominantly non-dwarf actors standing in for the dwarf characters. Many came to believe that they had been entirely reimagined. When the first official image of the film was released this October, though, it showed that the dwarves were actually CGI-created beings reminiscent of their animated counterparts.
That's even worse, because Disney's CGI is as bad as it comes. We all know this. Anyone remember Ant-Man Wasp Quantum Morbin time? Jesus Christ.
And they all looked a little bit creepy and uncanny, and everyone was like, what is that? Either way...
Creepy? This looks like something that Pornhub would unironically use for their banner for a while, because it's like, you're not clicking on this because you want to see what happens. You're clicking on this because you don't want to see what happens.
What is that? Either way, there is so much controversy swirling around this movie right now that whatever side of the argument you sit on, you're just going to be exhausted by the time it lands in theaters. So don't be shocked if this turns out to be yet another Disney flop. Now, while we're talking about recent Disney flops, I've got a quick question for you. What has been your biggest recent Disney flop? Like a film that's gone into theaters and you were really disappointed by it. Maybe it's box office performance, whatever it is. As Hollywood has started taking video game movies a little bit more seriously in recent times, it looks like there isn't much hope for Eli Roth's long-gestating Borderlands adaptation. Despite principal photography wrapping all
a Borderlands film adaptation? I think I have heard about this for at least 10 years at this point. And I obviously think it's kind of horrible.
Way back in July 2021, we've seen little more from the film than a few vague silhouetted images of the characters. And certainly not a trailer, not even a teaser. It's immediately a little bit suspicious, because wouldn't Lionsgate want to show off their absolutely stacked cast? They've got Cate Blanchett, Jack Black, Kevin Hart, and bloody Jamie Lee Curtis. And yet, between the strange silence on the project, reshoots being conducted earlier this year on the back of some rather disappointing test screenings, and
How do you even do a Borderlands movie? I think it's borderline. Get it? Borderline impossible. Like, what good can you do with a movie like that? It's just gonna fail. It's not gonna capture the. So Borderlands is a very specific blend of crazy and chaotic, and actual reasonable. Yeah, I know. I know. Reasonable Borderlands. But if you think about it, kind of is. You know, there is reason to it. So a blend like that, I don't think is even possible to actually, do. So it is what it is.
Making their own tangential Spider-Man universe a thing, aren't they? And following 2 Venom movies and Morbius, 2024 will see a number of other Spider-Verse things get released, including Kraven the Hunter. Even ignoring the fact that general audiences don't really think much of Kraven. Don't lie, they don't.
Most people don't know who he is. I barely remember him from the Spider-Man cartoon that I watched as a kid. And even then, he's probably the most unmemorable villain ever.
But hey, once upon a time, they didn't really care about Iron Man, did they? The first trailer suggests this to just be a painfully mediocre, stuck in the 2000s superhero.
Wait, are we even gonna have the new Spider-Woman thing? Because that is gonna be Oh, we do. Wow. I mean, Disney is hitting this list out of the park, and everyone and their dead grandma honestly knows it because of how absolutely bad it is.
Number 6, The Beekeeper. Even though the trend of Hollywood using January and February as dump
I have no idea what the Beekeeper is.
months for lackluster films that they don't really have much faith in has become less fashionable over the last couple of years, it certainly still happens, let me tell you.
Is this gonna be that Rick and Morty type of thing where, the dad does the bees and Summer's friend wants to bang him for it? Is that gonna be the Beekeeper? Is it? Oh, look at that. It's the guy from the Expendables and Fast and Furious.
And if nothing else, David Ayer's upcoming thriller, The Beekeeper, that is its name, has
Thriller. Okay.
intense this is being dropped in January energy in every one of its fibers. Looking less like a real action flick and more like a parody of one that you'd see in another film, everything about The Beekeeper just screams this is being sent out to die from a lot of stings. Even if he can move on from the daft title, which most people will not, the dialogue and slivers of plot suggest that this entire thing is pretty much just going to be a project that comes and goes without making much of a dent commercially, critically, anythingly. It's just going to happen. Though the Statham-led The Meg 2 did turn out to be a pretty sturdy box office performer in the end, it's fair to say that probably had more to do with the bombastic premise than the Stath being.
I have no idea what this is, and he's doing a horrible job at actually portraying it. Yo, what? So he's some kind of super cool John Wick type of fellow, but he's way lamer than John Wick. Is that the premises? Lion King?
Seriously? Grossing a scarcely believable $1.663 billion despite being utterly soulless slop. And that's coming from a Lion King lover. It's fair to say that Disney may have overestimated mainstream interest in a prequel story. Do you really care? All the same, Mufasa...
Prequel story of the Lion King? Didn't this already drop, by the way?
The Lion King is still set to release in December 2024, with the...
Oh no, it didn't. I thought it already dropped, huh? Interesting.
Great Barry Jenkins inexplicably drafted in to direct the thing, hopefully for a...
Oh, look at that, it's Scott, and the only way you can tell it's Scott is because he has a scar. That bodes well.
Massive payday, because the guy deserves it. Honestly, there's just so much working against this. James Earl Jones is not voicing Mufasa, I know. Disney's stock with audiences has massively fallen in recent times, and it's basically a movie that nobody was asking for. A Lion King prequel after all this time just feels a bit desperate, really. And even if Jenkins does manage to bring a bit of heart to it, which he probably could, it's highly likely that Mufasa experiences a massive drop from the 2019 film. Similar to those incurred by Alice Through the Looking Glass and the Marvels recently. Disney do not look like they'll be feeling the love after this one releases. I'm not
sure about that. It's the Lion King. I mean, it can work. It didn't look horrible even, honestly. So, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with this one. Maybe I don't know this public sentiment about this also. I have heard nothing. I just know they're doing it. I didn't even know it's a prequel. I thought it's just gonna be the same retelling of the same story. And by, a bunch of these screenshots, it kind of looks like it is just the retelling of the same story. Which, good, I guess. I don't know. I personally kind of feel that I would be almost interested in seeing a non-animated version of this if the CGI is not bad and they don't change a lot about the story. Now, admittedly, I barely remembered the story, but, I mean, it was good when I watched it as a kid, so I hope they don't change that much. But I don't know about this one. Is this gonna actually be a disaster? Or is What Culture just garbage, as we all know it is? Huh.
Sorry. Number 4, Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. A possibly controversial choice now, but that's just what I do.
I mean...
Fury Road, and they should, it's amazing. Prequel Furiosa is not looking too hot right now. While
it probably doesn't first time around so much. Oh man.
Bad. It certainly appears to be a noted...
Oh, it looks corny. This is a disaster. But the fact that already this looks as awkward as, a gender reveal birthday party. Yeah, not looking good. Well, and everything else already looks kind of... Bruh, you can already tell, by the way, here that his... This is CGI, I think. Look at this. It looks bad. Dude, CGI is such a letdown. It's incredible. This looks just bad. Where were we? Here somewhere?
Appreciate footage.
Yeah. Dude, if you can't even make a good trailer for a movie, that movie has absolutely no shot, I'm not gonna lie. If it's a high-budget Hollywood film and it can't even nail a trailer, I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna be trash. There's no way. Because triple, just bad. It looks cartoonish almost.
Tessa. Even accepting that trailers do represent work in progress.
That looked bad.
Fury Road.
Oh my lord. We're talking about a wasteland and everything's so shiny and sleek and clean. What's wrong with you?
Ariel never made it.
And yeah, all of this is CGI to the maximum. This is so bad. This is actually so ridiculously bad. Wow. I mean, impressive. How do I know that to go to and it leaves just this small of a hole? Yeah, that's not how metal works, okay? So, this would have been way bigger. This is stupid. This is poor CGI. And one of the reasons, by the way, why am I actually putting so much attention on this is because CGI, even if it looks like this, which is already like a big downer, isn't actually the problem. It's the fact that people who make CGI don't understand basic physics concepts. Because our subconsciousnesses are really good at recognizing basic things that should be true in nature, even if we don't actually know, consciously know that that's supposed to be true. Our subconsciousness sees small things like this, and it goes like, that's stupid. And you don't like this shot. And you suddenly don't like this shot. Why? Because it makes no sense. This shouldn't be possible. yet it happens. And that's why it's bad. Okay? The people who make this CGI seemingly are living in some kind of, Dune navigator tank. Axolotl tank. Well, that's not a navigator tank, I think. But, you get the point. They're not even living in this universe. Whoever makes this CGI, because it's so bad.
Look this plasticky and artificial, did it?
Wait, was even that fake? Bruv, even this is fake. Even this looks fake. Is she even there? Yo. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not putting anything on Hollywood that they're gonna make this work. But the fact that this is what we're gonna get is disgusting. Plus, we saw the hand here. Ugh. No, just absolutely no. And probably... Oh boy. Let's move on. Let's move on, shall we? Number 2, Madame Web. We knew that this is gonna be there. Man, woke Hollywood is just wild. What can I say? You probably know Madame Web. And I probably don't even need to tell you anything about Madame Web. How bad it is.
Number 2, Madame Web. Before Sony unleashes Kraven the Hunter on audiences, they're flinging another Marvel movie into cinemas, Madame Web, which, true to form, looks like it tripped and fell straight out of 2005. I mean, seriously, just look at it. Look at it! Look at it! Even if you can't forgive how lazily it resembles a chimera of a superhero movie in a Final Destination flick, the atrocious dialogue, the stiff as all hell line readings, and shambolic VFX suggest an absolute flop of a feature just
Wait.
of a superhero movie in a Final at it. Even if you can't forgive how lazily it resembles a chimera of a superhero movie in a
I mean, the fact that this woman is actually running faster than the man already tells you everything you need to know about this movie.
A Final Destination flick. The atrocious dialogue, the stiff as all hell line readings, and shambolic VFX suggest an absolute flop of a feature just waiting to happen.
Yeah, if you have not seen this trailer, it is just beyond honestly abysmal. And now we have Blade here at number 1, it seems like.
Programming
Bro, this...
to maybe get a bit of counter-programming
kill me.
Expect it to be a disaster because the apathy surrounding this thing right now is thunderous. Number 1, Blade. Mahershala Ali.
Why Blade, though? Why?
While the script has passed through the hands of at least 5...
I mean, what culture is garbage? I'm watching this because it's halfly garbage, but yeah. I mean, seriously? Blade? What's wrong with Blade?
Might suggest a welcome departure from the franchise's...
I haven't heard anything bad about it. I haven't seen anything. Like, am I missing something here, boys? Am I missing something about Blade? I don't think this is gonna be a huge super duper flop. I mean, is it gonna live up to the hype, you can argue? Probably not, honestly. Let's be real, the Blade hype's pretty big. Okay, Blade has big shoes to fill. Let's be completely real here. But at the same time, it's like, no, this does not look even that bad. I don't know. I haven't seen... Am I missing something? I don't feel like Blade should be on this list. I definitely think Madame Web should be number 1. Oh, the Fallout series is not on this list also, but I guess that's different. It's not a movie. But yeah, am I missing something about Blade? I don't think I am. I just think what culture is shit. Anyway, this is Quizzer said, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.